What secrets are hiding in Downton Abbey 3? What surprises are the returning cast bringing to the big screen? And what's the truth behind Maggie Smith's decision not to watch Downton Abbey at all? Well, today on TV Promo Recap, we're beginning our deep dive into everything you need to know about the upcoming movie. The legacy of Downton Abbey. First, let's rewind for a moment. If you're new to Downton Abbey, this series is nothing less than a cultural phenomenon. Starting as a period drama on TV, it grew into one of the most beloved global franchises in recent history. Its charm? A perfect blend of historical backdrops, family drama, upstairs-downstairs dynamics, and unforgettable characters. The story of the Crawley family and their loyal servants captivated viewers for 6 TV seasons. When the saga moved to the big screen, fans showed up in huge numbers. The first Downton Abbey film was a hit, and its sequel, Downton Abbey, A New Era in 2022, only raised the stakes further. And now, after years of speculation, it's finally official, Downton Abbey 3 is happening. Picking up after A New Era. The second movie, A New Era, reunited series creator Julian Fellowes with almost the entire main cast. The film successfully balanced more than 30 different characters, weaving together multiple storylines and still giving audiences heartfelt drama. But more importantly, A New Era showed us the Crawleys stepping into the modern world of the 1930s. From shifting social changes to personal struggles, the Crawley family had to adapt in ways we had never seen before. So what comes next? That's the big question surrounding Downton Abbey 3. Could this be the final chapter? Reports suggest that this third installment could be the final movie in the saga. If true, that makes this upcoming film even more monumental and bittersweet for longtime fans. It would be a fitting end to a journey that began more than a decade ago. But at the same time, ending the story means the stakes are higher than ever. Every storyline, every character arc, and every emotional beat has to land perfectly. Where could the story go? While A New Era didn't leave us with an obvious roadmap, there are plenty of possibilities. One major speculation is that the looming shadow of World War II might finally come into play. Remember, the original series began with World War I setting the backdrop. But World War II brought a different kind of threat, one that could place the Crawleys in real physical danger for the first time. Seeing how the family faces this kind of turmoil could deliver an entirely new level of drama. Of course, Downton Abbey has always been about more than just history. Its heart lies in the characters. And that means relationships, especially Mary and Henry's marriage, could take center stage in Downton Abbey 3. One of the biggest reasons Downton Abbey has become such a fan favorite is the incredible cast. And with Downton Abbey 3, many of those beloved faces are making their way back. Let's take a closer look at who's returning, who's missing, and which surprising new actors are joining the family. The returning favorites. The official cast lineup is packed with familiar names that fans will instantly recognize. Hugh Bonneville returns as the ever-dignified Lord Grantham, alongside Elizabeth McGovern as Cora. Michelle Dockery once again takes on the role of Lady Mary, with Phyllis Logan, Robert James Collier, Joanne Froggatt, Penelope Wilton, Leslie Nichol, Paul Giamatti, and Dominic West all reprising their parts. These returning faces bring with them more than just nostalgia, they carry years of character development that audiences have grown deeply attached to. And that's why their presence in Downton Abbey 3 feels like a heartfelt reunion. Michelle Dockery herself shared her excitement in a May 2024 announcement video. It feels amazing, a tad emotional. It's wonderful to all be back together again. You come back together and it's like no time has passed at all. Alongside them, other beloved names are also back. Laura Carmichael as Edith, Jim Carter as Mr. Carson, Alan Leach as Tom Branson, Michael Fox as Andy, Raquel Cassidy as Phyllis, Brendan Coyle as Bates, Kevin Doyle as Molesley, Sophie McShera as Daisy, and Douglas Reith as Lord Merton are all confirmed for the third film. New additions. What's exciting is that this isn't just a reunion, it's an expansion. Downton Abbey 3 introduces a few fresh faces to the mix. These include Jolie Richardson, Alessandro Nivola, Simon Russell Beale, and Artie Frauchen. Each of these actors is expected to bring new energy and dynamics to the Crawley household and its extended circle. New characters mean new conflicts, relationships, and secrets, elements that will keep fans guessing about the direction of the story. Who's missing? Of course, not every cast member is set to return. The most notable absence is Maggie Smith, whose legendary character, the Dowager Countess, passed away in a new era. Her death was a deeply emotional moment and marked the end of an era for the franchise. And while flashbacks are technically possible, it's unlikely we'll see her in Downton Abbey 3. That said, her absence will certainly be felt. After all, the Dowager Countess was the sharp tongue and heart of so many unforgettable moments. Other question marks remain around certain characters. For example, Imelda Staunton's Lady Bagshaw hasn't been confirmed, despite early speculation. Similarly, Penelope Wilton's Isabel Grey is uncertain, though the actress has expressed interest in returning. And then there's Matthew Goode, who was absent in a new era due to scheduling conflicts. If he manages to join this time, his presence could bring new depth to Mary and Henry's storyline. Finally, Robert James Collier's Thomas Barrow remains a wildcard. At the end of a new era, he accepted a job offer in America with Dominic West's character. Since West is confirmed for the third film, fans are hopeful Barrow will return too. But so far, nothing is set in stone. What it all means. This mix of returning legends, possible absences, and new faces creates an atmosphere of excitement and unpredictability. Will the new additions disrupt the Crawley household? Will long-running relationships finally find closure, or be tested like never before? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: Downton Abbey 3 is setting up an ensemble story that promises to honor the past while introducing fresh drama for the future. Now that we've talked about the returning cast and new additions, let's shift our focus to something fans have been eagerly waiting for: the official release date, production updates, and the behind-the-scenes journey of Downton Abbey 3. Release date confirmed. Mark your calendars, because Downton Abbey 3 is officially set to premiere in both the UK and the US on September 12, 2025. That's nearly 3 years after the release of Downton Abbey, A New Era in 2022. The long wait between films has been partly due to the challenges faced by the entertainment industry during and after the global COVID-19 pandemic. Production schedules, filming logistics, and cast availability were all disrupted, which caused significant delays. But now, with the third film locked in and confirmed, fans can finally breathe a sigh of relief knowing that the saga continues. Why the gap between films? It's worth remembering that even between the first and second films, there was a noticeable gap. This pattern reflects the careful planning and large-scale coordination required to bring such a sprawling period drama to life. After all, Downton Abbey isn't just about telling stories, it's about recreating a whole world of aristocratic estates, historical authenticity, and an ensemble cast of over 30 characters. Julian Fellowes, the creator of the franchise, has often emphasized the importance of pacing these stories carefully rather than rushing them. And that patience may be exactly what makes Downton Abbey 3 such a promising entry. Early hints and teases. Before the official confirmation, there had been plenty of speculation and hopeful hints dropped by cast members. In fact, Imelda Staunton, who plays Lady Maud Bagshaw, revealed during a March 2024 interview on BBC Radio 2's Breakfast Show with Zoe Ball that plans for a final Downton Abbey film were in motion. Her exact words? "There will be a final film." There you go. Her statement fueled the fandom, and it wasn't long before other actors joined in with their own teasers. Michelle Dockery and Hugh Bonneville both expressed how emotional it was to reunite for another installment, and these hints kept fans buzzing until the studio made it official. Doubts along the way. Interestingly, back in 2022, Hugh Bonneville had expressed skepticism about whether a third film would actually happen. He told Radio Times that while there seemed to be energy for another film, he suspected the franchise might have ended on a high note with a new era. His words were, "I thought for a while that maybe there was an energy to do a third one, but I suspect that's probably not the case. I think we'd probably quit on a high." But clearly, those doubts didn't last long. With demand from fans and enthusiasm from the creative team, momentum for Downton Abbey 3 only grew stronger. Behind-the-scenes excitement. Production for Downton Abbey 3 has been underway, and though the studio has kept much of the detail under wraps, what we do know is that Julian Fellowes has returned once again as the creative mastermind behind the script. His involvement has always been central to the authenticity and charm of the series, so fans can rest assured that the Crawleys are in good hands. The film is being directed by Simon Curtis, who previously helmed A New Era. His experience with the ensemble cast and grand storytelling makes him a strong fit to wrap up this chapter of the franchise. What this means for fans. For longtime fans, the September 2025 release date feels both exciting and bittersweet. On the one hand, it means the Crawley family's story is continuing on the big screen. On the other hand, with whispers that Downton Abbey may 3rd be the final film, it could also mean we're heading toward the end of an era. But as history has shown us with this franchise, nothing is ever truly final. If fans want more, and the cast is willing, there's always room for new stories to be told. Now that we know the release date and behind-the-scenes details, let's dive into what fans are most curious about, the possible plotlines, themes, and secrets of Downton Abbey 3. While the studio hasn't released a full synopsis yet, there are strong clues about where the story might go. Now that we've explored the upcoming film's cast, plot possibilities, and lingering mysteries, let's shift gears to one of the most surprising behind-the-scenes revelations: Dame Maggie Smith's secret about never watching Downton Abbey. Maggie Smith's surprising confession. Maggie Smith, who portrayed the iconic Dowager Countess of Grantham, remains one of the most beloved figures in the Downton Abbey universe. Her sharp wit, biting one-liners, and commanding screen presence made her a fan favorite from the very first episode. But here's the twist: despite her monumental role, Maggie Smith has openly admitted that she has never watched Downton Abbey. In an interview with 60 Minutes, she confessed that seeing herself on screen is simply too frustrating. Her exact words? "It's frustrating. I always see things that I would like to do differently and think, oh, why in the name of God did I do that?" For Dame Smith, acting is about the performance in the moment, not revisiting it later. Why she avoids watching herself. Unlike many actors who study their past work to reflect or improve, Maggie Smith finds the process uncomfortable. She explained that watching herself only leads to self-criticism, which takes away from the joy she feels in performing. "No, I haven't watched it," she said candidly when asked if she tunes into Downton Abbey. For her, the satisfaction comes from the craft of acting itself, not from seeing the final cut. This may surprise fans, considering how much acclaim she received for the role. But in a way, it reflects her grounded, no-nonsense approach to her career. To Maggie Smith, what matters is the acting, not the fame or recognition that follows. The legacy of the Dowager Countess. Even though Maggie Smith won't be appearing in Downton Abbey 3, her character's influence continues to shape the story. The Dowager Countess was more than just comic relief, she was the emotional backbone of the Crawley family, balancing tradition with wisdom and sharp humor. Her death in A New Era was a deeply emotional moment, not just for the Crawleys but for fans around the world. As Downton Abbey 3 unfolds, we can expect her absence to cast a shadow over the family, while her legacy lives on through Mary, Robert, and the rest of the Crawleys. A bittersweet farewell? With the release of Downton Abbey 3 set for September 12, 2025, fans are preparing for what may be the final chapter of this beloved saga. For over a decade, we've watched the Crawleys and their servants navigate love, loss, and the challenges of a changing world. Will the 3rd film bring closure to every character's journey? Or will it leave the door open for future spin-offs, as so many modern franchises do? That remains to be seen. One thing is certain, Downton Abbey has become more than just a period drama, it's a cultural phenomenon that has left an indelible mark on television and cinema. Final thoughts. So, while the Crawley story may soon reach its conclusion, the spirit of Downton Abbey will endure. Whether through unforgettable performances like Maggie Smith's Dowager Countess, or through the timeless themes of love, duty, and resilience, the series has carved out a permanent place in the hearts of fans. And who knows? Even if Downton Abbey 3 marks the end of the main saga, the door is never fully closed. Spin-offs, specials, or even entirely new stories set in the same universe could still surprise us in the future. For now, all eyes are on September 2025, when we'll finally see how Julian Fellowes chooses to close this extraordinary chapter.